Here's Peter Griffin spraining his knee. And this is Peter damn near getting his head chopped off. Peter, would you like a glass of God? I told you not to play God with those ants. These are the most expensive injuries Peter has ever had. One so bad he had to rob a bank just to cover the hospital bills. So today we're gonna add them all together and figure out the exact amount Peter owes in medical expenses. But first, we gotta start with the trip to the vet. Brian's not feeling well in the episode Once Bitten, so they do what any responsible pet owners would. Is everyone warm in here? Brian, are you feeling all right? Fine, it just seems kind of... Oh my God! Our family take him to the vets, and it turns out Brian's liver is not working as livers normally do. So Peter has to give him pills that'll sort of work things out for him. Only problem is he's gotta take them in an interesting way. I gotta give you these pills to butt wipe. Well, that is not happening. Okay, no, it sounds a little rough. Peter, get away from my ass. Come on, Brian, he's only trying to help. But you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and when Peter finally gets a hold of him, this happens. Peter, what the hell? I'm still in charge of you. Have it. I'm a human. Get away from me. If you flex my ass, I swear to God, I'll kill you. You bit me. And I'll do it again if you don't stay the hell away from my ass. I guess this takes biting the hand that feeds to a whole new level, don't it? But that's a serious gash that's been opened up on Peter's hand. He's gonna need stitches. The wound cleaned, dressed, tetanus shot, and obviously we gotta factor in the pain meds and the visit to the ER itself. Peter would easily be looking at around $5,000 in hospital bills for this. Now, that might not be a lot in the grand scheme of things. Hospital bills are insane, but it's a big chunk of change for a small chunk of flesh, you know what I mean? Now, I know a lot of you would say Peter kind of lives his life like he was hit on the head. Well, in the episode of Big Man on Hippocampus, he actually takes a serious bang to that noggin of his. The episode starts with the Griffins appearing on an episode of Family Feud, and somehow they're actually doing pretty well. So I'm gonna go with a flute that Captain Picard played in real life in the episode The Inner Light from Star Trek The Next Generation. Idiot, we said money! But it soon goes pear-shaped when they go for big money and Peter runs out of time, costing his family the game. And he ain't happy. I'm sorry, your time is up and you didn't score enough points. We lose? You son of a... What about my cave in the yard? Peter continues to overstep the mark with Richard Dawkins, so the host sends Peter flying across the set, smashing into one of the podiums. Oh my God, are you all right? What happened? Who are you? Lois who? Who the hell am I? So after Peter's crash landing, the family heads on over to Dr. Hartman to see if he can shed some light on what's going wrong with Peter's head. Your husband has amnesia. Is it permanent? His memory could return in days, weeks, years, or never, or weeks. I don't know why I thought a trip to Dr. Hartman's office would be actually awful, but at least we know what's wrong with Peter now. He's come down with the case of amnesia, and he needs his family's help to regain that memory. This is Meg, your daughter. Sorry, I just don't remember anything. But it's actually a run-in with an old rival that sparks Peter to get his memories back. Hey, you just snubbed me in front of my own house. Look, fella, I don't know who you are and I don't want to. This happens to be fresh marathon sod. And I just got my memory back. Just in time, too, because the whole memory loss thing has been taking a real toll on Lois, who's now basically in a relationship with Quagmire. So before they go past the point of no return, Peter has to tell her that he's back to his old self. What are you doing here? I got my memory back, and I love you, Lois. I want our old life back. I don't believe it. You're back. I'm back, Lois. Now, that might be sweet and all, but Peter's still got a hospital bill to take care of. You got the ER visit fee, the medical exam, and the CT scans of his brain to take into account here, which, by my calculations, would total out to an easy 11 grand. I think it's safe to say that's a payment Peter will want to forget. Now, if there's a group of people that can rival Peter and the guys with the world's lowest IQ, it's gotta be the boys from Jackass. But in the episode A Man with Two Brians, Peter and the guys take a page out of Johnny Knoxville's book and decide to turn extreme. What are you boys doing up here? Get off the roof. We're being Jackass. We're rolling, and this is Shopping Cat, roof shopping cat, guys. Okay, go! I was gonna say maybe this isn't gonna end badly, but who am I kidding? Ow. Ow. Oh, God, are you okay? I don't know. What is that? What did I feel something? I'm scared. Oh, God, does this get fixed with ice or heat? I'm sure an ice bag and a wet paper towel will sort that one out. That and a lengthy trip to the hospital. But before we get to that, when Peter recovers from his spine injury, he gets right back on the extreme horse. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Flying away and a wing and a prayer. Believe it or not, it's just... So after smashing into the ground, Peter decides to test gravity one more time and goes headfirst into a tree. He doesn't quite break his back like he did the first time around, but he has a nasty broken arm and nearly drowns. Good thing Brian was on hand to save him. I'd expect this kind of behavior from you, but you have no business endangering Brian like that. He jumped into that lake to try and save your life, and he's 8 years old, Peter. Okay, Lois. Okay. If we start with Peter's spine injury, Peter would easily be forking out around 12 grand on scans and tests before any sort of corrective surgery even took place. And you all saw how bad it was. So that thing will be 100% needing to go under the knife. That alone would cost $63,000, as well as a further $6,000 in follow-up therapy to help him ease his new back into his life's routine. Then we come on to Peter's broken arm, short and sweet, but all in all, it easily costs an extra 8 grand, so that's easily north of $89,000 total dollars. The pavement might hit hard, Peter. Your medical bills hit even harder. Having one Peter Griffin in the world is bad enough, but in the episode of Vestigial Peter, it turns out the fat man had a twin all along. It also is kind of ironic that he first notices his twin thanks to a pain in the neck, so he has to Dr. Hartman's office to get it looked at. Now, hi everybody, what the hell is that? It's a little me. Wow, your wife is gorgeous. Is that a foot? Almost. That little guy right there is Chip, and he turns out to be the brother Peter always wanted. Michael rowed to Buddha shore. Michael rowed to Buddha shore. Sister, help to trim the sail. Things might seem to be going swimmingly, but Chip's personality clashes with Peter's, and Peter ain't happy. Oh, it's just a tennis match? Yes, it's tennis. Wow, wow. Wow, wow, I can see why. Peter's patience wears completely thin with his twin and decides maybe the best course of action is to have Chip shift off, although it's not as simple as it sounds. This thing on my neck removed. Oh, Mr. Griffin, your organs and his are intertwined. You could die. If you live, I'll let you pick any prize off that shelf. Peter throws caution to the window and pleads Dr. Hartman to go through with the surgery anyway. Nurse, have somebody fix that clock. It's very distracting. Will it work? Will Peter survive? Will Chip survive? Is everything all right with my dad? I'm afraid we lost him. What? Hey guys. Oh, there he is. I'm free at last. Where's Chip? The crew's walking. Hang it, Doc, dude. You didn't have to do them like that. Thankfully, both Peter and Chip are fighting fit. Chip goes on to live his life of thrill-seeking and fun, which is a far cry away from what his life would look like if he were still attached to Peter's shoulder. Those people ain't taking good care of themselves. Well, I guess you could say that's a big weight off of Peter's shoulders, but it's an even bigger weight on his wallet. The surgery is complicated as is, and Chip's sure ain't cheap. You're looking at about $125,000 for that alone, and we're not even talking about the first consultation and incision to uncover Chip, as well as all the scans, tests, and aftercare needed post-surgery. That'd be easily another $37,000. Man, America's fracking ridiculous. So finding his long-lost brother would set Peter back at least $162,000. Clean living isn't in Peter's nature, and eating like a late-stage Elvis was never gonna end well for him. In the episode McStroke, his unhealthy choices finally catch up to him when he devours 30 hamburgers in one sitting. I no longer feel the pain. Can't really feel anything on the left half of my body. That doesn't sound good. Oh my God, someone call an ambulance. How can a man put away 30 burgers? I can barely take down 2 Big Macs. Sorry, I meant 2 Big McBurger towners. All the processed fats go straight to Peter's head, causing a blockage in his brain and ultimately having a stroke. Your husband has had a stroke. Oh my God, how do you feel? It had been a day, Lois. After 3 months of hospital stays and rehab, Peter is allowed back home, but he doesn't exactly take to his new life like a duck to water. Peter's getting in the car. He eventually ends up healing himself by taking a trip to a stem cell research lab. How long was I in there? About 5 minutes. Why are we not funding this? I guess you could say funding that lab is a stroke alert. I'm not sorry at all. So let's see how much Peter's stroke cost him, huh? Ambulances are standard $3K, along with $15K for the emergency admission, scans, and stabilization. The surgery to remove the clot on Peter's brain would be at least 32 grand. 5 days in the ICU, we're looking at $10,794 a day. That's $53,970 in total, with an extra week's worth of charges on the recovery ward for $20 $21,000, but Peter's not walking this one off. He's also got a month of inpatient rehab costing him $45,000, and 2 more months of outpatient therapy and specialist visits for another $15,200. Oh, and let's shan't forget Peter's shortcut to recovery. That quick little trip to the stem cell lab sets him back another $40,000. With a total standing at an eye-watering 225,170 schmackaroons, man. To be fair, it seems like a good price to pay to stop this from happening. Nah, Brenner. The next hospital visit on our list brings us to the episode of Whistle While Your Wife Works, where Quagmire brings around a bunch of fireworks. Where was Florida? Ah, it was great. I smuggled a whole bunch of fireworks back in my... Fireworks aren't illegal here. You could have just put them in your car and driven them up here. Peter and gunpowder really don't mix, and it's not long before he's up to something stupid. And that might be an understatement. Check it out. I took 10 M80s and stuck them all together. I call it Peter Griffin's Mega Ultra Super. At times like this, I like to look on the bright side. He's gonna save a fortune on gloves. Yeah, I know, Tosa, but it's hard to have much sympathy for the guy. Here's one of Dad's fingers. I learned in biology, if you get him back soon enough, they can be reattached. With the rest of his digits spread across Spooner Street, Peter has to act fast in gathering them up if he's gonna save his hand. Hey, here's one of them. Peter, look out! Oh, brother. How the frick is this an actual episode? To make matters worse, here comes Mr. Herbert's dog, Jesse. By the looks of it, he's got his sights set on Peter's pointer. After the world's slowest race, the trio are neck and neck, but it's something else that snatches the finger. Damn it! Peter's finger now high up in a random bird's nest. He draws upon every bit of brain power he has to think of a way to get it back, which, as we all know, isn't a lot. Maybe if we make it mad, it'll come down here and we can catch it and get the finger. Your Pope is white and green. Yeah, oh yeah, I knew that would get you. Let's plant a knife on him just to be safe. And with that finger, Peter's back to a fistful of 5 and heads to the hospital to get them reattached. And the surgery is a success. Here's to Peter getting his fingers back. Thanks, Joe. The rest of the episode, we see Peter dealing with life one-handed for a while, even having Lois turn out to do his job at work. Now you, Angela, would have been all over my case. I know it's tough for you to work with your hand injury. Kinda like you're my secretary. Let's not get carried away, Peter. Peter's homemade firework didn't just blow off his fingers, it blew a monster hole in his wallet, too. Cleaning and reattaching 5 fingers ain't cheap. It cost him around $150,000 in delicate microsurgery. Then you got $50K for a week in the hospital, another $20K in meds and scans, another $48K in rehab just to relearn how to use his mangled hand again, totaling up to a staggering $298,000. Never mind fingers. At that price, Peter paid an arm and a leg. Bank of Peter Griffin is being drained by the second. We're only halfway through here, and he's already managed to rag up $1,156,470 worth of hospital bills. But if you think that's a lot, just wait. I showed you a sneak peek compared to what's coming up. And if I just straight up showed you that final bill right now, you'd be in the ICU for a week. I know I was. People have been calling Peter Griffin brain dead since 1999. And in the episode Coma Guy, he finally lives up to it. It all starts when Peter heads to the library and picks up an old Van Halen album that he used to listen to back in the day. But it starts bringing out the rebel in him. Peter, what are you doing? Some say rebel, others say idiot, tomato, tomato. Things really heat up though when he once again runs into Ernie the giant chicken, who's driving his own car. Working squirrel. Ouch. Yeah, that's what'll happen if you let a distinguished squirrel take your eyes off the road. Anyway, joking aside, that crash is bad. And due to the injury sustained by it, Peter falls into a coma. My husband is in a coma? I mean, he's not responding to my advances. Either a coma or he's a frigid bit. I'm just gonna move past whatever the hell Hartman said there, because things aren't looking good for Peter. He's not stable for long, and soon he flatlines. Where? You do stuff up here. Clear. Where? I guess there's one good dodger between the pair of them. They managed to kickstart Peter's heart back into motion, and it seems like there's a little bit going on behind the closed eyes after all. We will favorite so. Panama? It is the Panama Canal. While his body is fighting for its life, Peter is still thinking about that stupid song. Sorry, Eddie, if you're watching. Although we can see that there's life on planet Peter from the outside, things look pretty dead. So Dr. Hartman has no choice but to give Lois the hardest decision of her life. Good news or some bad news, depending on how you feel about your husband. Your your husband is brain dead. Make your choice. Are you telling me I should pull the plug? I'm afraid so. Lois mulling that decision over. Back in Peter's brain, he's finally about to ride the Panama Canal, but some shocking news brings him back to the land of the living. I think it's time for you to depart. Thanks for everything. What's the boat's Wi-Fi password? There's no Wi-Fi on board. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Just the nick of time, too. Looks like Lois made up her mind. Hey, there's a plug. You pulled the plug on me? It was a very difficult decision. I'm alive. I'm not sure any amount of couples therapy will be able to unpack that one. And Peter's gonna need lifelong therapy when he takes a look at what Dr. Hartman will be charging him. This might be a long one, so just bear with me here. First, you got the ambulance. That's a cool $3K just for the ride to the hospital. Then $15K for his admission and stabilization in the ER before he's transferred to the ICU. We see in the episode that Lois is given the choice whether to turn off life support. That means Peter will have been in the hospital for at least 4 weeks. Per day in the ICU, it costs $10,794. Peter was there for at least 28 days, so that alone is $302,232. And he got $64,675 for the life support system, $23,000 for daily scans, and $15,000 in meds and specialist visits, coming out to a whopping $422,907. If I had to pay that much money thanks to a stupid Van Halen song, I'd probably jump off the nearest building. I know Peter's a cartoon character, but the guy has been hit, slammed, thrown, smashed, you name it, more times than any of us can really count. We saw him take a tumble earlier that led to amnesia. Well, when he tries to do the dance of life with Lois, it leads to embarrassment. Hey, you're scaring me. Good, dance with me, Lois. Dance the dance of life. Forget the dance of life. Peter's most famous dance is the one with gravity, like when he turned the staircase into a slip and slide, or made a water slide in the house. Yeah. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Funny that I mentioned prizes because do you remember when Peter and the family won the lottery and Peter tried to recreate the famous coin dive by Scrooge McDuck? It's not a liquid. It's a solid matter that form a hard floor-like surface. That may be one of the worst injuries to look at for me. The little bone peeking out of his leg there, just heebie-jeebies. Brother, if you thought that was bad, how could I possibly forget about the time Peter skydives and ends up impaling himself on the Eiffel Tower? Oh, great spirit, Detroit. Oh! Yeah, I'm at the Eiffel Tower. Oh, cool, I'm in Paris. Ah, crap, I'm in Vegas. Dude, I don't even know where that thing entered, and I don't want to know. What I do know, all these idiotic injuries are gonna cost a bomb. Smashing into the cabinet would probably be no more than a quick splinter removal as a painkiller, so that's like $200. Things start to get more serious, though, when we discuss the slip and slide. It looks like Peter's dealing with a few broken bones there. You gotta factor in the ambulance, ER, tests as usual, all that stuff which should easily set him back 17 grand. Coin dive is all the above times 10. Peter's got a compound fracture, his back might be broken, he's gonna be in the hospital for at least a month and will need severe physiotherapy to get him walking around again. That's gonna be at least $255,000. Peter getting impaled on the replica Eiffel Tower is the big boy here. The fact he's so high up, he'd have to call for an air ambulance and a team of people to cut him off the tower, transport him back to Go High, take him to surgery, remove the pole, let him rest for at least 3 weeks to heal, then you gotta add all the scans, other tests, painkillers, you get the idea. That clocks in at around 322 grand. So if we add everything up here, Peter's spree of blunt force trauma has put him $594,200 worth of debt with Dr. Hartman. I'd say maybe he's learned his lesson, but this is Peter we're talking about. That never fracking happens. I know it's hard, but you can't just blame Peter for all of his accidents and injuries, especially when one famous chicken has been the reason for many of them. That's right, I'm talking about Ernie, the giant chicken, Peter's foul nemesis. They fought a lot through the years. Let's take a look at the real standout moments from their fights, like when they first meet in the episode Da Boom and end up falling out of a skyscraper. Although Ernie took the brunt of the landing here, there'd be some serious damage done to Peter. Several broken bones, including most of his ribs and his pelvis, cuts through his body from the broken glass, and most likely a punctured lung. So Peter would be looking at about 94 grand worth of bills already, and this is just the beginning. Their second meeting is much more brutal. They take their fight to the middle of Spooner Street and end up getting hit by oncoming traffic, and then an oncoming train. If this wasn't a cartoon, I think Family Guy would have ended in season 4 or something. Peter would have some serious internal bleeding, multiple fractures, brain trauma, the whole works. Most people don't survive getting hit by a full-speed car, and never mind adding a train to that equation. If he somehow managed to survive all of that, he'd wake up to a hospital bill worth 228 grand, and that might just kill him anyway. We've seen him get hit by a train, but what about when Peter and Ernie accidentally drive a runaway train mid-fight? This one probably looks a little worse than it is. The train carriage most likely took the most of the impact, but no one escapes a crash like that without serious injury. You don't need me to tell you every broken bone and bruise, but know that this little crash would set Peter back another $141,000. Next time Ernie and Peter meet is in the episode Internal Affairs, and it's probably their most famous face-off, where Ernie chooses to fight fire with fire. Man, that's gonna leave some gnarly third-degree burns. And then you got Ernie punching the snot out of him at the end there. Peter's gonna need a couple of skin grafts and a lot of care for his brain trauma, and those things ain't cheap, easily adding another $87,000 to Peter's total. Peter might have walked away from his fights with Ernie, but his body and his bank account took one hell of a beating. Just from the obvious stuff alone, his run-ins with Ernie have cost Peter a total of $550,000, but that's not including any of the scans, tests, hospital stays, ER fees, or aftercare. So if we add that on, and add a few more dollars for the stuff in between, the big hard-hitting moments, the grand total of medical bills Peter would have to pay as a result of his tussles with Ernie is $767,450. I guess that's the price you pay if you want a free-range fight. We all know Peter likes to drink down to the drunken clam, and he's known for his cast iron liver, but the episode The New Kidney and Down, it's another drink that starts causing him problems. Red Bull. Hey, what the hell are these things? Cartons or something? Hey! There, honest, Rivka opens up the whole room, becomes totally addicted to the sugary stuff to the point it starts taking over his life. John, wow, Dad, that was pretty cool. Oh my God, can you try some Red Bull? Chris, I take it as an insult. If you didn't, here you go, have some cans. So to protect him, Lois decides to throw out all the Red Bull in the house and bans him from buying any more, and Peter agrees. Well, he agrees to not drink Red Bull, but Lois didn't ban him from making his own energy drink. Lois can't stop me from experiencing the manic highs and lows my body demands. And you're adding kerosene? Kerosene is fuel, Brian. Red Bull is fuel. I want you to leave me alone while I'm doing my important work. Here, that drink will kill you. See, Brian? I feel great. His homemade drink has caused some serious damage to his insides, leaving Peter with total kidney failure. Kidney failure? We'll put him on a kidney transplant list, but that could take months. He's gonna have to undergo dialysis treatments 3 times a week. Is there any other way? No. Wait. We'll do the dialysis. Still things are bad when your doctor pulls out a gun to put you out of your misery. Dialysis is no joke either. If your kidneys are total, you got no way of cleaning your blood, so Peter will have to do it manually by a machine. Hey, Doc, I'm here for my dialysis, so let's get you hooked up. Doc, I don't know how much more of this I can take. It's been 3 weeks. Dialysis can only last so long, especially if you're drinking alcohol on top of it. Oh my God, you don't look so good. I feel great, like I could go another 20 years or more. That new kidney can't come quick enough for Peter, but with the donors list being so long and with no one around him being a match, it looks like this might just be the end, until his best friend steps up to the plate. What about me? Is that possible, Doctor? Stranger things have happened in medicine. I once tried to clone a chicken, wound up being a man-sized chicken that was incredibly hostile. We gotta have a talk at some point, but Brian, are you sure about this? No harm in seeing if I'm compatible. Dr. Hartman is responsible for creating Ernie the Giant Chicken? Sorry, time and place, I know. It turns out Brian is a match for Peter, but it's not going to be a straightforward procedure for Brian. As a dog, Brian's kidneys are smaller and don't have the capacity of a human kidney. We would need to transplant 2, but I only have 2. The procedure would kill you. Even though it'll kill him, Brian agrees to go ahead with the transplant if it means saving his best friend. So they get prepped to go into the knife, and when Dr. Hartman shows up, he's got another idea to save Peter's life. I found another donor for your husband, me. It turns out I'm a perfect match. God, Dr. Hartman. Now that's what being a doctor's all about. Come to think of it, would dog kidneys even work? I mean, dog kidneys? Do dogs have kidneys? Yes, this is the guy. The surgery is a total success, and both Peter and Brian live to fight another day. So how much does this new kidney set him back? When he first collapses from the ambulance ride to the ER admission, tests, his first round of dialysis, Peter would be $22,500 out of pocket. He's then released and given dialysis 3 times a week for 3 weeks, which racks up another $13,500, only to collapse and be rushed back to the hospital, including all the other stuff from his first day, but for longer. Another $28,000 there. And what about the surgery itself? Well, the average kidney transplant in America costs $400,000. Don't forget the year's worth of checkups needed too, which clocks in at about another 33 grand. Yeah, might as well. But the real kicker here is that Peter will be on anti-rejection meds for the rest of his life. And if we say that he lives for like another 40 odd years or so, that's $1.2 million spent on drugs alone. You thought drug addicts were bad. All in all, that comes out to a whopping $1.69 million. And that's only for 1 kidney. Imagine if the dude needed 2. If you guys are thinking what I'm thinking, it's how the hell is this dude still alive at this point? Well, the answer's pretty clear. Dumb luck, with a lot of emphasis on dumb. Through the years, Peter has put himself in some wild situations. Like the time he tells Chris he's his favorite son, and Chris goes to town on him. Yo, yeah, He's bruised, battered, 176 shards of glass in his body, but Peter will come away from this one relatively okay. Well, he might do a double take of the $24,000 medical bill coming his way, but well, we're used to that at this point. That's rookie numbers. Nothing compared to when Peter was planning on cooking us some seafood, only for the mother of all lobsters to turn up and turn the tables on him. You're hurting? Yeah. No, that's just air escaping. They can't feel anything. Having your skull sauteed like that's gonna require a lot of reconstructive surgery. $195,000 worth of it, be exact. Then you got the time Peter was sitting on Quagmire's nest to protect some vulnerable eggs. Yeah, you heard me right. I'm for line. Can't leave the eggs till Quagmire gets back. I guess I haven't seen that mongoose in a while. What happened, Sloppy Joes? Yeah, I heard. What happened, Sloppy Joes? Monkeys! And those mongoose are cutthroat. It's a shame the hospital won't be slashing their prices, though. You'll probably have to call in another air ambulance again. And if Peter does survive this, he'll likely need multiple blood transfusions to keep him going. So you can safely add $217,670 of the total here. Then we got some more serious ones that I'll quickly fire through, like when Peter finds out Lois isn't using a web browser he approves of. You were supposed to stay on Firefox. As it's a little worse than the mongoose stuff, I'd say you'd be looking about $226,450. This is a loaded handgun. What we're gonna do now is kill ourselves because this is horrible. All right. You gotta remember, Peter has a pretty tiny brain, so he did probably miss, leaving him in a need of care to the tune of $267,900. What's going on here? It's my book club, Peter. Come, join us. Okay. Talking of constant care, Peter's neck break wouldn't have killed him, but left him paralyzed for life. Peter's a pretty young guy, and that level of care could easily rack up over $3 million over the course of a lifetime. Some last-minute stupidity is gonna cost him serious here. Adding up just the face value of costs comes out to $3.9 million, but then you got all the other hidden costs to take into account, like what we did when we covered the fights with Ernie. If you add all that on, Peter would be looking at something more akin to $4.4 million. He's gonna have to get Carter to bail him out of this one. So when it's all said and done, Peter Griffin will be stuck with a medical bill worth approximately $8,541,027. Brother, that's not just a lot. That's over 10 times what the average person would spend on healthcare in their entire life. Or on anything, really. Meaning you won't just be paying for his mistakes, his grandkids will too. That's some serious generational debt right there. But he's hardly the baddest of the bunch. In fact, there's way worse out there. Like this character's video on screen now. So go give it a click. Thanks for watching.